as well, BYUtv.org/DVR. A few people have tweeted at me asking about that. It's going to be a ton of fun.
Back-to-back in-studio guests now as we welcome in Aaron Fletcher of the third-ranked BYU men's cross-country team.
Third-ranked?
They are climbing the polls. Now, we need to ask you, which is the more credible ranking? Flow Track came out and said, oh, hey, they're number 3, and then the coaches poll came out and said number 4. So are we going to Flow Track, Aaron?
You know what? That's a good question. Honestly, rankings don't mean all that much in cross country. It's not super important.
It doesn't mean it. You're number 3 in the country.
No, it definitely is. The Flow Track poll is good. It's great. I mean, they have us ahead of Oregon. They beat us this year earlier. So that's kind of, debatable. But I think we're definitely a top 3, top 4 type of team.
Wow.
What has caused the and the team's been good the last couple of years. You go back to Miles Batty in the last few years and whatnot. But what helped you guys make the jump this year?
Well, last year was a really disappointing year for us, getting 16th at NCAAs.
It's pretty good when 16's not good enough.
Yeah, we got a really powerhouse program. Coach Isom does a great job. But I think really it's been the addition of some new freshmen that we've had. Dallin Farnsworth has run really well for us. Connor McMillan has stepped up his game. John Harper ran really well for us this last weekend. And I think it's really a difference in mentality. I think we've got a bunch of guys that are young, but guys that are very used to success. They're used to winning, and they believe. And I think that's the biggest thing for us. We're buying into it.
And that plays into what we were talking about even with the football team. They believe in the fourth quarter they're going to win now. Yeah. And so the cross-country team's taking that as well.
Aaron Fletcher of BYU Men's Cross Country with us on BYU Sports Nation. You talked about Oregon, and they beat you head-to-head. So you're in the West Coast Conference. You dominate the West Coast Conference. So who is your rival? Like when you go to a meet and you're like, oh, they're here. Who's your rival?
Actually, so you say we dominate the West Coast Conference, but, man, it's been a battle. Portland has been really good the last few years because, they took third at NCAAs last year.
Okay.
So when we lost to them at conference last year by 3 points, which is really tight in cross country, the previous year we beat them pretty well, and then they beat us by 1 point the year before that. Since we've gone in the WCC, it's been alternating BYU Portland. And that was one of the big goals we said at the beginning of the season was we got to win conference and then do well at nationals. So conferences this weekend, and I guess it's a week from Saturday. But we got to win conference. We should be able to win it this year. I think we're a stronger team than Portland, but we can't overlook them. And they really are the team that we look at and say we got to beat those guys.
Spokane, Washington, West Coast Conference Championships next Saturday on Halloween. Can you clear something up? You were not running in costumes, is that correct?
No, sometimes we do a costume run, but that's not really good for racing.
You really do that?
Yeah, gosh, 2 years ago I did a 10-miler in a towel. Yeah.
TMI, bro.
Hey, I was wearing shorts under it too, but nobody else knew that, right? So, yeah, no, Sometimes we get into it and do some fun stuff like that.
What's funny about that is you're literally wearing less than that when you actually run.
That's true.
A towel is like 10 times the cloth.
It's the modest version.
It's just the shock value.
How'd you run with the towel on? Because I walk out of the bathroom and I can't keep the towel on.
Safety pins.
Safety pins. Okay.
Better believe it.
Excellent. I learned a lot today. I really have. Aaron Fletcher's bringing it.
That's amazing. I can't go away from the Halloween topic. If you wore a towel, what was everybody else wearing?
Yeah, what were some of the other things?
Hey, I can't tell you. I don't remember. It's like one of the least important things, right? It's the least important day of the year, Halloween. We got to win the next day at conference.
Listen, the important part, that's right, is winning and beating Portland. And we're going to call them your cross-country rival. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's definitely fair.
Have they replaced, they're the Utah equivalent in conference play?
Yeah. Utah doesn't have a cross-country team for the men, so we got to find somebody else.
There you go.
What kind of a shot does this team have to win not only conference, but to legitimately compete and win a national championship this year?
I think winning conference is definitely attainable. We should do that. If we don't, it'll be a huge disappointment. At NCAAs, that's going to be tough. Colorado comes in ranked number 1 for 2 years in a row. They've won 2 national titles. Syracuse beat us this last weekend at Wisconsin pretty comfortably. I think we can compete with them on a good day, but it's going to take a good day from us. I think we need to be optimistic, but also ready to just run the best that we can and not worry too much about beating those teams that are very good. and just compete with them.
Let's give them the karma for
Yes.
next week for the West Coast Conference Championships.
Now, when you come on the show, we have this thing called the BYU Sports Nation Karma,
Okay.
where you take it and you go and dominate.
You do,
So-
you do
That sounds
well.
great.
Like you.
Like me personally?
Yes, you personally.
All right,
And I've
that
seen
sounds
you
great.
finish like top 2 in a couple of meets, so we're expecting greatness.
Yeah, you know,
in Spokane.
Dallin Farnsworth and I finished 1-2 in 2 races
There
this
you go.
year. And
Dallin, look
we've
out,
been-
man.
We've
Aaron's
been,
coming for you.
We've been 1 or 2 seconds apart at every meet. So
Not anymore.
It's going to be tight.
Run with that extra confidence, knowing you have the karma.
No, I love working with Dallin. It's great.
Thanks for coming on.
Aaron, great to
Yeah,
have you,
good luck.
man.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck at the West Coast Conference Championships. Up next on BYU Sports Nation, a coach being inducted into the Hall